But as we sort of transition, from Juan Soto to a real need for the Red Sox, and that would be pitching, starting pitching. And I mentioned off the top, the only move so far, Red Sox pitching wise, or any move at all really, is outside of the coaching staff and some moves in front office. Talking about the roster is Justin Wilson, left-handed reliever, veteran left-handed reliever. Hopefully, can provide left-handed presence in the bullpen. Coming off of Tommy John surgery last year, and trying to work his way back. So hopefully, that season last year can sort of get him back into the form that he had before the injury, but. In terms of the starting staff, Lenny, we know one guy that won't be in a Red Sox uniform in 2025, and that's Blake Snell. And, of course, the LA Dodgers come in. They swoop in. They sign him to a 5-year, $182 million deal. So he's off the board, even though he did reportedly meet with the Red Sox, which, again, is a good sign that the Red Sox are serious about investing in this roster this offseason and on the pitching side in particular. But, there's still some names out there, some fairly big names as well. And Corbin Burns, probably the biggest name, the right-handed pitcher who's with the Orioles, outstanding arm, obviously. And then Max Fried from the left-handed side with the Braves, his whole career, just consistent, in terms of innings pitched. And if you look at the numbers, pretty consistent as well. And then there's a potential trade target in Garrett Crochet, who, became a full-time starter last year with the White Sox. You look at all these guys' baseball savant page, as we like to do when we're getting ready for a game or a series. And when you see all red, man, that's a good thing. And you see a lot of red with these guys.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about a domino effect. And after Snell signed that, 5-year, $182 million contract, Burns is kind of the next guy up, and he's probably going to get over $200 million, upwards of that amount, close to it. And are the Orioles going to sign a guy like Burns for that amount of money? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But if he does go elsewhere, you mentioned a guy like Max Fried, he's probably going to get 160, 170, might be a little bit more into their pocketbook. He's a left-handed pitcher, again, with a good resume, a guy that goes out there and gets it done consistently. You mentioned Crochet. We have pieces in the minor leagues and in the big leagues. We have capital that could hopefully go out there and entice a team like the White Sox to go trade Crochet, because he would be a guy that'd be, again, from the left side. We don't have a lot of left-handed starters in the organization that have competed at the big league level in quite some time. That would be huge. A multi-year guy, still super, super young, that can get it done. A guy you didn't mention, Jack Flaherty. Again, the Dodgers went after Snell. That means Flaherty's probably not going to sign back. It's not likely he's going to sign back with the Dodgers.
Do we know that for sure? Guy. The Dodgers just have,
exactly. I mean, we don't. They're just going to sign him and put him in AAA at this point. I mean, honestly, did they find a magic lamp or the end of a rainbow or something? What are they doing? It's incredible.
It really is.
Yeah,
and they're in the mix with Soto. They're in the mix with Soto too.
Yeah. and if you look at the 2023 winter meetings, the two big splashes that stick out for me are Ohtani and Soto, Dodgers and Yankees. Now, remind me, how did those teams do last season in the playoffs?
Right.
Did they go pretty? Right. They went pretty far, right?
Not
so
to mention
it kind of
proves,
proves,
right? Yamamoto.
Exactly. Yeah, they're signing all these guys, and talent's talent, money's money. I get it. Money's money, and but when it's a gamble, but the percentages kind of go in your favor when you're signing so many talented arms and so many talented bats, and you're getting both of those with Ohtani. So I feel like, Moneyball's great. Good movie. But at the end of the day, you got to go out and get talent. Talent costs money. And I think that approach is what's going to end up getting the Red Sox back into contention, back into postseason baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? And you could talk about homegrown talent all you want, and it's important. I'm not minimizing it in any way, shape, or form. But more often than not, you need to go out and invest in a couple of important pieces at least to solidify your roster. And you can go back to every World Series champion and you can point to those moves, right? And you can point to the Astros and say, you know what? They went out and got Verlander. They went out and got Cole, right? And they won a World Series. Now, they had complementary pieces and they had important pieces on their roster. I mean, I'm not, again, homegrown talent like Carlos Correa back in the day and Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. Sure, absolutely. Big part of what they did, but that wasn't going to get it done alone, right? And then you have the Rays who are, consistently in the playoffs, for the most part. Their farm system's outstanding, but they've never gotten to that next level, right? They've made it to the World Series, they've made it to the postseason, but they haven't won the whole thing yet. And so you look at the teams that have won, and you can point to an investment, whether it's a trade, whether it's a free agent signing or two, and say, yep, that's what got them over the top. And so to your point, you look at the Dodgers and Yankees, who are obviously big spenders. They were the two in the World Series last year, and that's usually what it takes to win a championship. And now, after a few years of not doing that, and again, the Red Sox did make a commitment to Rafael Devers, a big commitment. So it's important to point that out as well. But the spending hasn't been as big as you would like it as a fan, right? Because for the most part, that's what it takes to get to the next level. And the other thing that's good is that the Red Sox now have some trade capital because their farm system has improved over the last few years, and they have some prospects that they can use as trade chips, or they can continue to develop and hope that they have a role at the major league level.
Yeah, it's always a gamble if a minor leaguer is going to go out there and kind of reach their full potential, go out there and be Hall of Fame talent big leaguers. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, right? So prospects, even young players in the big leagues, it's capital, right? It's capital you can either use to go out and get other players that have proven big league pedigrees, or wait on it. And I think the Red Sox have been waiting for a long time, and they have tons of minor league players and big league players that are super young that have gotten to the level, that are about to get to the big league level and contribute. But again, if you look at teams that go out and acquire free agents, what do these teams do toward the end of the season? They tend to steamroll, right? They're not slowing down at the end of the season. These are teams that get better. These are teams that get that second, third wind, and they're playing their best baseball into August and September. And what we've seen from the Red Sox the past few years is they've gotten a little bit tired. You can see them just a little bit lethargic, whether it's the bats last season, whether it was the bullpens last season. The starters throughout the season excelled. They did dip a little bit at the midpoint, right after, I believe, it was the All-Star break. But throughout the season, I feel like they really exceeded expectations, especially the expectations that we were talking about preseason. Before last season, it was we just didn't know what they were going to give us. And again, when you go out and you get proven arms, guys that have gotten it done year after year, those are the guys that are going to be the difference makers towards the end of the year. And it's not necessarily the best team that wins the World Series. It's the team that gets hottest at the right time. And those proven guys are what helps organizations and teams go out there and not only get hot, but continue to get hot when it counts the most. Essentially, right? When you get into the dog days and help the team not just kind of linger on and get tired. That's not a good feeling after the All-Star break, the trade deadline, where you can just see a team kind of flounder out there and not continue to get better.
Yeah, I know. And that's happened to the Red Sox, right? No doubt about that. They've made, this past season, they did make some investment and some bullpen help, and it didn't end up working out for them. Obviously, position player wise, Danny Jansen was the only real move that they made, try and bring in a right-handed bat, can catch. But other than that, we haven't seen that big splash, and we've seen the Red Sox dip in August and continue to dip in September. This year finished 81-81, and again, the offseason is it's going to be interesting. I don't think I've seen this much smoke around big name signings with the Red Sox for a long time. And so that's why I think that a lot of people are thinking potentially that this offseason could be different.